We have a secret surprise for you today. Well, not very secret, but we're talking about Facebook ads. So hold on, let me introduce my co-host, Greg. Greg, you're up.
Hey everyone, my name is Greg. I'm with Original 72 Creative, and we're a full-service website graphic design and digital marketing agency in Vancouver.
Now, look who else I'm bringing on today, and look how good I am with my camera action, guys. I'm getting better at this. This is Sally. Sally is Amazeballs, and I'm going to let her introduce herself. Sally, tell us about you.
Hey, I'm Sally Hendrick, and I live in Nashville, Tennessee. I've got 3 redheaded girls that look like Pip Seymour, and and anyway, I am a Facebook ads expert and sales funnels expert and all of those things, all of the digital marketing leverage that you need. I know how to help you find it.
And so us together, guys, we're going to have a great talk today. I got Sally in here. We are in a couple groups together. We actually met in real life in Social Media Examiner World. She is all that and a bag of chips. Let me just tell you. And she's got those redheaded kids. So, we're besties. And, you all know Greg's married to a redhead, right? Anyway, I won't take too long about going over things. It's a little dicey with the sharing, but we are all on screen now. So what we're talking about, the most important thing to do with Facebook ads, the insights into targeting, and helpful advice, tips, and trends. So I'm gonna put Sally here on the hotspot, and Sally, what is the most important thing that everybody should do with their Facebook ads if they're gonna do it? Start it,
Well, before you even think about running ads, which may be way down the road for you, a lot of people are working on their websites. They're working on their sales funnels. They're working on their landing pages. They're working on their lead magnets. They're doing all these things to get ready for online marketing, but they don't look at the fact that all the tracking needs to be in place right from the beginning. Because when you are ready to step up your game and go into the whole sales funnel thing and start running ads, if you don't have any history on your tracking, you're starting from ground zero. And that is something you can absolutely avoid if you put the Facebook pixel and your Google tracking on your site right as soon as you put something up.
Right? Kat's here, Greg's here, Phelan's here. Yay! Hey guys! Yay! So I know we're going to get a lot of people on the replay. So if you're catching the replay, make sure you jump in now. Sally was just telling us about that pixel. It's a lot like Facebook, a lot like Google, right, Greg? Where we recommend that you put the turn it on in Google Analytics, and you turn it on so you can collect that stuff, so that we're not lost in not getting the data even when we're not ready, right? Now, do you know, Kat, do you do, Kat's with us, Kat, do you do Facebook ads? I am not sure. Kat helps run a mortgage company, and so she does all the marketing, so that's neat. And Greg, do you do Facebook ads for companies?
I've done Facebook ads for companies, but it's not my core focus.
No, me neither. Now, Sally, who's, I'm going to jump in here and ask you a lot of crazy questions, buddy, but who should be advertising on Facebook? Let's go here. This is a good one.
Who should be advertising?
Yeah, like what kind of businesses, what kind of people, I know, weird question, right?
Every kind of business, every kind of people. The reason why is because even if you are doing B2B, when it comes to Facebook targeting, it's always B2C. If you can identify exactly who the individual customer is that you're trying to find, whether they work in a certain position, whether they like a certain, drink, or like a certain color, or like a certain thing, if there's something out there about them that you already know their traits and you want to be able to find them, then you can target and actually find those people. And the way that you draw them in is through very careful messaging with keywords, just like on Google. You draw them in with your keyword messaging so that you can whittle down the masses into the right people who are truly, truly looking for help in what you can help them with.
I like that. I didn't even think about it like that. It's really interesting because I know people get really frustrated and lost with Facebook ads and it gets overwhelming. I also know that if you're a marketer and you want to learn a skill, Google ads is really good. Facebook ads, newsletters, if you specialize, websites like what Greg does, because those specialized skills really help. So it's always good to get an expert's opinion and help, right? Which is, I am sure, after this live, later on throughout the next couple weeks, you're going to get a lot of questions. Some more group members too, guys. Sally has a group. You should. We'll drop the link. We'll drop the link here too. Okay, number 2, Greg. Do you know what number 2 is? Do you want to ask Sally?
I'm not looking in the Trello, so no, I don't know what number 2 is.
Guys, Greg's not paying attention again. I know, right? I know.
I'm waiting to jump in with something really good, but so far I got nothing.
Right, nothing. Yeah, but so do you put that pixel on people's site for people, Greg?
Yeah.
And Sally, do you offer that as a service?
Oh, of course.
Well, there you go, guys. Right, that's awesome. Okay, so if you don't have your Facebook pixel up, I want to know. And Greg, if you get a new website, you can lose your Facebook pixel. So that's true, right? Yeah. New site, new code.
Well, if you go to a new site and the pixel's not implemented, yeah.
Okay. I won't harp on this one. Okay, so number 2, insights. So this is where many of us get confused, right? Because honestly, the Facebook ads manager is it's a little bit daunting, confusing, hard to maneuver. And I know I walked away. So when I started out, I was like, well, I already know about Google Ads. So I'm going there because this is crazy. And Sally, tell us about insights. Like, how can we explain to us how Facebook makes it easier for us to advertise?
One of the things that you have to really think about is, people talk about niche marketing. You have to be able to speak individually to a group of people. And one of the ways of doing that is to make sure that the content you're putting out there matches up with the objective of where you want that person to go, like if you want them to click, or if you want them to watch your video, or if you want them to sign up on your email list. Whatever your objective is has to match up there, and then that matches up then with your targeting. And what that means is that the best way, I guess, to explain it would be, let's say that you are in the fitness industry and you want to find somebody who is who's a fitness coach. They want to find maybe the fans that Jillian Michaels has, and they also want to make sure that that person is a male or a female, or they also want to make sure that they hit the right age range. But then in addition to that, it could be people who really, 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 really love pets. And so what you can do, because that market is really, really huge, the fitness market, so you can narrow it down by using, lots of analogies and references and fun pictures of your pets, and you can actually narrow down the targeting for people who specifically are really, really, really like pets, as opposed to just having pets. Okay? I know it sounds kind of weird, but you can narrow it down in Facebook so that they are into the fitness part of it, but they also really like pets. And so anything you talk about, that group of people is going to pay attention when you start with the social conversation around pets first.
That's really interesting. Okay, Kat is saying that she only does ads for contests. that are so not mortgage related content, which. So hey, here, put you on the spot. So what would you do for like a mortgage broker trying to get people interested, first time home buyers?
Okay, first time home buyers. Instead of always talking about the home market and about the specific, the mortgages, and just always talking about business, look at what's going on in the community that you may want to be promoting. So let's say that there's like a community that's really great for first-time home buyers. It's a place that first-time home buyers tend to flock to. And so what you want to do is really focus on talking about the events in the community, the schools in the community, the restaurants in the community, all of these other things that you want to become the expert on that particular community, and then you market to first-time home buyers and you talk about all of these things. They end up looking at you as the community resource, and so of course when it comes time for them to get their mortgage, that's who they're going to think about
first. Yeah. Oh, that's good. I like that. That's really good. So that's a hot tip, guys. I am so sorry if I put you on the spot. You're so good.
I happen to have a mortgage podcaster who's one of my clients.
Oh, do you? Oh, a podcaster. It's funny because, yeah, actually, we got our mortgage from these guys. They're really good. And that's how Kat and I became friends, because she's their marketing savant. Right? And, okay, so in the Facebook's advertising platform, there's all these different groups you can advertise to, as we kind of dug into, but there seems to be some confusion with this thing called lookalike audiences and then custom audiences. And what is okay, so explain, because there's 3. So let's dig into that, because I think that's important for us all to get our little paws on.
Okay, so the first place that people typically go is they go to what's called the saved audience. This is like your very first theoretical audience. It has nothing to do with who's been on your website. It has nothing to do with who's on your email list. It has nothing to do with any of those things that are already trackable. This is for somebody who's starting out from scratch and has nowhere else, they're very, very beginner. And so what they do is you can go in and select based on interests, demographics, so on and so forth, and that's where you will create a theoretical audience that should be interested in your content. That's where I brought in the example of, let's say you want to go for fitness people who also like dogs. So you would do a combination audience, but you have to make sure you click the narrow button as opposed to just putting everybody in the same box. When you narrow the ads, what you're doing is you're creating 2 subsets, and you're going to get the cross section in the middle. And that cross section means that they're into fitness and they're into dogs. Okay, so that's how you narrow down and niche that audience for your content. Now, the next type of audience is a custom audience. This is the one that a lot of people know about, and, well, some people don't know about it, but this is where your pixel is involved. It's also where your contact list is involved. So if you create a custom audience, this is actually a warm audience of people who already know you somehow. They've either been to your website, or they've engaged with your Facebook content on your business page, or they have given you their email or phone number, and you have uploaded those into Facebook so that you can create an audience out of those specific people.
So you have to have the pixel on your site, you do, to get that audience, right? If you don't upload.
You have to have the pixel on your audience to get the website visitors. Okay, and there's ways of layering those visitors. This is where you get into much more advanced pixel type things. You layer those visitors based on the deeper actions they've taken within your site. So if they're a blog reader, they're going to be a little bit more valuable than just a homepage visitor. If they are a thank you page visitor, meaning that they actually signed up on your list for something and ended up on a thank you page, that is an even more valuable visitor to your website. And they are given, I have a ranking system in my Facebook course that teaches people, like, this is your 1-star audience, this is your 2-star, this is your 3-star audience, and so on and so forth.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So and it's really important because it's how you funnel people, and it's how you retarget people so that you can actually get to the precipitate of people who are the most engaged and most ready to buy.
Right? Meaning that the conversion is in the end costing you less by being super targeted and super smart. It's so cool, Facebook advertising. I although I don't sell it, I'm super into it because it looks like you can do wonderful things. Now, you were letting us know the other day, and guys, we get on here and we talk about this stuff before we meet, right? But last time we were talking, you were talking, oh wait, I don't know if we finished the audience stuff. We'll go back to that. But last time we were talking, I know, super excited. There was something not to do, but we'll get to that after. Sally, keep going with the insights about targeting and people. And
what was the not to do? Okay, yeah. I don't know. We'll get there. But let me finish the lookalikes. That's the third audience that is so confusing for people. They think, oh, I'm going to go create these lookalike audiences, and then everything's going to just work just fine. And that's not the case. You've got to understand what they actually mean. So we already talked about saved audiences. That's your first cold audience creation. Your warmer audiences are your custom audiences. You can get those all the way down to the people who are ready to buy. But then we have lookalike audiences. Now, what this does, this is something that no other program on earth does, or in, wherever, in outer space or whatever you want to call the cloud. There's no other program that allows this. You can take those custom audiences you have, which are warm people, visitors, engagers, subscribers, and you can create a clone of those people in like a planet of people who are like those people. That's what a lookalike audience is. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. To me, I don't know, guys, does that make sense to you out there? Let us know, even if you're catching
now,
the
is this in another demographic, or?
So it's like
no.
Explain. I understand what you're saying, but how is the lookalike people different from the original custom if there's not different interests? How does?
You can narrow it down a little bit to get more advanced on the lookalike audience strategies, but the basic premise is, and the best lookalike audience that you could ever make would be an audience of 1,000 paying customers. If you have 1,000 paying customers, ones who actually gave you money, and you took those and loaded those into Facebook or used your pixeling to know who they are, then you can create that lookalike audience. And what Facebook does is they take the traits of your most engaged, of your paying clients, they take those traits and they spit out this planet of people who are most like those people with artificial intelligence technology and all these, the algorithms and all these things. What they do, and this is based on things that are so deep and so into AI that they can literally predict your thoughts and your actions out of your thoughts based on your actions you're taking on Facebook. Every time you click something, every time you go back and look at somebody's profile, Facebook is capturing that information and layering it and putting scores on it. And they're using it to identify what you like or what you are engaged with. It might be that you're engaged with a lot of stuff you like, but you also may be engaged with a lot of stuff you hate because people like to read disruptive content. And so there's a dichotomy going on here. You've got good and evil, bad and, like and hate, and all these different things. And that's the content that people look at the most, right? And Facebook captures those actions. And when they create that lookalike audience for you, it ends up being the perfect storm of who you need to be putting your content out to, because it's going to be it'll either make them the most happy or it'll make them the most pissed off. And that's how you get people to pay attention.
Right? It's we were talking about this before. There was an ad that we ran when we were doing Facebook ads that got a lot of controversy because it was a book, and it did extremely well. It was crazy. And I'm more of a fluffy cat kind of person online. Like, I like the good stuff. Disruptive stuff, I'm kind of like, and I move on quickly. I don't know about Greg. I don't even think he's on Facebook, guys. I mean, right, Greg? Kat is saying, she understands the concept of lookalike audience, but it's still hit and miss. So here's a good question for you, Miss Sally.
Is it audience related? Because I want to follow.
Yeah, it is. It's really good. But you can ask a question right after, I promise. Sally, where would somebody go to learn more about like what's a good recommended tool, you included, to go and find out about audiences, like get more into it so that we don't get the hit and miss?
Okay, well, I do happen to have a Facebook Blue Book. I have a Facebook checklist that you use to go through for as far as creating ads. That leads into a Blue Book, which is basically a handbook that gives you a smattering of best practices. It breaks down the definitions into something that's more understandable. It gives you examples of what ads should look like and how you can, use those as examples. That's one way. If you want that link, I can give it to you, or however. Yeah, now? Okay.
Yeah, well, not right now, after the live.
Not now. Yeah,
right?
Let's not do it now. And, but other than that, Facebook has their own system for teaching. It's called Facebook Blueprint. I am on the testing team. I'm helping. Yeah, I was picked out of, there were 15 of us picked to test Facebook Blueprint certification program, and I am in the pilot testing group right now, and I've got to finish up by, oh my gosh, August the 18th. I have to take the exam and become certified and all of that with their brand new course, because they've changed a lot of things in Facebook, and a lot of things are rolling out right now, which is why we all are getting ticked off, because it keeps getting glitchy on us these days. And when they release everything brand new, they're also releasing a brand new certification course.
Oh, interesting. Hey, Greg, what was your question?
It was regarding the setting up all of the targets and whether or not people should modify an existing audience or create new audiences. If they don't think they're getting to the right people, should they modify ones that they've currently got set up for a lookalike or a custom or what have you, or should they create from scratch again?
There's a whole lot of depends in that. That gets really granular. There's a lot of strategies on duplicating ad sets and adding new audiences in and testing them against audiences we're looking at. You have to make sure that everything is statistically sound before you start doing all of that, which is where my statistics background comes in. In addition to that, though, Facebook is changing everything to campaign budget optimization, and this is a hot topic in the industry. Right now, you can budget your ads based on the ad set level. Just to give you kind of a hierarchy, you start with a campaign, then you set up your audiences and scheduling and budgeting at the audience level, and then you create your ads below that in the ads level, which is where your images and your copy and all those kinds of things go. So you've got 3 completely different levels within Facebook Ads Manager. The second layer is where audiences budgets, scheduling, optimization, all of these little nitpicky things, manual bidding, all of that is in that layer. They are about to take the budgeting option away from us at that layer and make us budget based on the campaign level overall. Now, what that does is it freaks out a lot of ads managers who have really optimized a lot of campaigns, and they've got all these things going, and they've been doing all this split testing one way. Now they're changing it, and they are forcing us to allow Facebook to make the best decisions for us, as opposed to us forcing Facebook to do what we want Facebook to do. I know that it can get super technical, and I don't want to go in that direction, but it really is something that's wreaking havoc on the communities out there. I have a yoga instructor who was getting 80-cent leads, and when we tried to switch things over to campaign budget optimization, her lead cost went to $1.15. Now, that's a huge amount when you're talking about somebody with 50,000 leads. Wow. Okay, if you're talking about somebody who's just starting out and has no idea what their lead cost ought to be, that's one thing. But when you go from 80 cents to $1.15, it has a huge, significant impact to your bottom line.
How do people manage this right now?
Pardon? Your mic went out.
Oh no. How do people manage this right now?
They're where's the shit emoji? Right now, they're doing lots of split testing and trying to figure out how to manage the change. Now, what Facebook has done is, thank goodness, literally the other day we got word that they are postponing campaign budget optimization to officially roll out in February 2020. It was September 2019. But here's the catch. If you're already running campaign budget optimization and you're already fully invested in that, Facebook will just basically turn you over to campaign budget optimization, and they will take away your ability to budget at the audience level. Now, if you don't have any ads running on your account, or if you don't have any ads running with the ad set budgeting option, then you're forced to switch in September, and there's nothing you'll be able to do about it. So the rest of us, when we have clients, we're trying to go in and make sure that they have both options on, so that they will get to keep it for another few months, and it'll give us more time to test and to optimize their campaigns and get their costs down.
Oh, so this is a really big deal.
It's a huge deal.
Yeah. So we're going to make note of this in the group, guys, probably on the live. I don't know why my sound is acting out like that. But that being said, that's important. I mean, I know for Google Ads, there's now it's so weird. Like, you can't do certain things, and you have to actually go to a specific button to manage your own campaigns now. It actually says, click here if you're an AdWords expert. It's kind of crazy. And it sounds like a lot of similar things happen with Facebook and Google. Bonnie's here. Hey, Bonnie, guys, we're running out of time. This is so good. She's so good. Michelle is saying, I'm having technical difficulty working remotely and will have to catch the replay. Oh, well, yeah, that happens. We understand. But come back and, ask questions, because I'm sure Sally's going to come back and answer them, or I'm going to go bug her and then get answers and post them.
Yeah, just tag me and I'll get in there at some point. So
I'm wondering if we can end, because we only have 2 minutes left, with maybe a quick tip, if you have something on with all of your experience writing, or something that maybe gives you the best results in ad copy or images or anything along those lines?
Well, I've got a hidden trick that nobody realized actually happens on Facebook too. But the names of your images need to be keyword rich when you load them up into Facebook to make ads, and people just ignore that. They're called untitled a lot and or copy of a lot, but you need to get in there and make your, like alt tags or whatever you're supposed to do on Google with SEO. It's the same difference with Facebook videos and images that you're using. And also think about spinning your text around. Sometimes people will put certain keywords in the top part of the ad, and then they'll put some in the headline, and they'll put some in the news link description below that. Sometimes it makes sense to kind of spin those around because you never know where people's eyes are going first. It's different for everybody. And also know that Facebook is taking away the 7 lines of copy view window, and they're reducing it to 3 lines of copy. So you need to throw some heavy upfront marketing, attraction marketing keywords in those first 3 lines of copy.
Ooh, attraction marketing keywords. That's I like the phrase attraction marketing. I don't think I've heard that before, to be honest, but yeah,
I made it up.
Guys, it's really good. It's really good. I have to say, one of the greatest things about Google Ads for me was it has this search term report you can use, and I find that it's so keyword rich, and if you use that in your other advertising, it works. And the same thing, Phelan noticed yesterday, I think some YouTube ads or whatever, if you do a click and look at their titles of the images or whatever they're using, it's untitled a lot. So, all this stuff flows into each other. So PPC in Facebook or Google affects, how you show up with those keywords. So interesting, eh? So many questions, so little time. Bonnie, wow, lots of changes, loads of stuff to write. I assume people are going to have to watch this. They're going to then grab a pen and paper, and then they're going to rewatch it. Second.
Yeah.
We got to end this, guys. There was one helpful tip not to do. It was related to a type of ad that people do, which is called a lead ad. Sally is saying something's changed. I'm going to let her tell us about that quickly before we go, because the cliffhanger would just be too much, right? Okay.
All right, lead ads are the most expensive ads that you can be running out there. I mean, purchase ads are too, but lead ads can be super, super expensive. People are paying upwards of $25 up to $100 a lead, $10, whatever it is. It's more expensive than any other type of ad that you could ever run in your sales funnel. So what you have to do is you really have to understand how to funnel people with cheaper objectives and whittle those people down with video views, with nurture content, with brand awareness content, with all types of other content that will get eyeballs on you, and stop asking for their stinking email all the time. People are sick of it. They're tired of it. They don't look at their emails as much, but they can be forced to watch your ads because you can push them right in front of them. And if you know how to funnel people with Facebook ads, then you can avoid that whole expensive lead gen situation.
That's good. That's good. Oh my God, this was such a great talk. Greg's doing the head nod. I bet you all are too. We got the head nod going. It's a winner. So Sally, if people are looking for you, where can they find you? We need to let people know because you're amazing, number one. Number two, you're a group member, to the geeks. And number three, your background, the 25 years of experience as a statistician. I don't know if that was mentioned, people, but that's some hardcore stuff because it deals with behavior, and behavior and psychology works so well with advertising. So where can they find you?
It's not as much psychology. The behavior is more about employee behavior and customer behavior. That's what I had to analyze for 25 years for insurance.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Insurance. Yep.
I did not.
That's what an actuary does.
That's interesting. That's pretty deep, buddy.
It is.
Okay, so where can people find you?
Just type Sally Hendrick in Facebook. You'll find me because I've got a Facebook page. I'm on the web at sallyhendrick.com. I've got all sorts of other little websites, but it'll just confuse you. So just go, just start with my name.
Okay. And guys, if you have questions, post them below. We're going to leave some links in here so you can find Sally And thank you so much for joining us. That was so great. And
You're welcome.
thanks everybody for listening. Send some of those hearts, because who doesn't love a heart, man? Like, anyway, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.